Hey guys and girls, my name's Dan. Welcome back to The Forge. In this episode of Trust Me, I'm a Blacksmith. Let's talk about magic metals. So a magic metal is anything from wrought iron all the way up to cast iron and everything in between except for mild steel. And also I sometimes use it to refer to things like copper, brass, titanium, and aluminium, anything that isn't steel basically. And most of these magic metals have special qualities and special properties that give us the opportunities as makers and blacksmiths, the advantages of their special properties and qualities, whether that is adorning our materials with something special like a brass leaf or some bronze leaf or a copper piece of repoussé, or whether or not it's a piece of H13 to allow us to punch holes in dirty great big pieces of hot metal. This video is basically me talking about where to find these materials from and what to use certain materials for. I would suggest that in this workshop predominantly I use three types of steels in this workshop, not including mild steel, magic metals. I use three predominantly, and the reason is A, I've got them, and B, they do the best for what I need them for. Now, the most predominant magic metal that I have in my workshop is forklift truck tine. Forklift truck tine is the forks off the front, and this stuff is great. It's normally boron, sometimes it's hardox, and it's a work hardening steel. It's full of chrome, it's got a bit of vanadium in it. It's got a fairly decent carbon content. It's up in the medium ranges. I think it's like 0.6, so it's somewhere between 0.5 to 0.7, so about 0.6% carbon, which is quite good for what we want. I think that's like an EN19, so a 1045 or 4140, something like that. It's around that range. It's great for making hammers out of. It has one thing different to the numbered materials that I just said now. It's got a lot of chrome in it. Chrome makes the material tough. It also happens to help with the work hardening qualities and also its resistance to corrosion. The other type of material that I quite commonly use in the workshop is, I got some prop shafts off the farm here. They come out with some compactors and H13, this stuff here. I find fork truck tine works pretty much perfectly for everything I use in the workshop and has done for quite some time. If you get hold of one tine, it's going to cost you next to nothing if you can get hold of it, and the best place to find that is either a scrap metal yard or go and find a workshop somewhere where they repair forklift trucks. Literally put into Google forklift truck repairs and you'll probably find a company local to you anywhere in the world that repairs bloody forklift trucks. Get yourself some tine. I can guarantee if you're a backyard smith and you can get hold of a tine and you can cut it up, you have got all the stock you will ever need to make hammers and punches, chisels. It will make the lot. You can use this stuff as stock blocks cold or as it came off the bar. You can use it to make hammers, you can heat treat it. It's forklift truck tiling, it's water hardening, it's oil hardening, it's great, it's super versatile. If you need data on the tines, the company that you got it off would almost definitely be able to tell you the company they bought their tines off, and they will almost definitely be able to tell you where the steel came from for that material. You just have to ask, so be polite. Anyway, basically, forklift truck tine will cover your base for pretty much everything. Other materials to look for: coil springs. Caution, I have never had any luck with these little tiny car coil springs. I know there's guys out there that have, but to be honest with you, they're powder coated 9 times out of 10, and I've never had any luck. It's normally because this type of coil spring goes through a very controlled heat treatment process where they harden and temper. Truck spring, big fat nice 20mm, so 3/4 inch, anywhere up to, you know, springs out of track frames on bulldozers. They get up to like 50mm thick, some of those. If you can get some of that stuff will be amazing. It will make amazing tooling. I definitely suggest trying to get your hands on some of that. And something else for you knife makers out there, leaf springs. That makes great hardenable material for making knives out of. I've actually found that leaf spring can be so tough sometimes that it's even hard to cut with an angle grinder. You can find all this stuff at scrap metal yards, anywhere that repairs vehicles. Literally, just go and be nice, say hello, and offer to make them hammers or punches out of some of the stock they've given you, and offer them the scrap metal price. So if someone goes, oh, I want 60 quid, or they want $80 for a couple of leaf springs like that, just walk away. You don't want to be paying any more than the scrap value. So a forklift truck tine like this, for example, I mean, this thing was about this long, and it's got like an L-shaped bit on it, so there's about 200 kilos, or about 400 pounds of steel there. I literally paid 15 quid each for them. Last time I went to the place where I get my forklift truck tine from, I bought 2 tines that size, I bought 2 tines smaller, and it cost me about £40. I'm just getting through these now, so it's a really good way to get hold of stock should you need it. The other option is tool steels. Now you can call up, basically search for tool steels, or search for the name of a steel that you know, so 1040 supplier or 4140 supplier or EN19 supplier, whatever, and search for that, and it will give you a list of names. It might take a little bit of hit and miss. Most companies don't want to sell you 100mm 4 inches of 26mm or inch round bar. They're not interested in you. They don't want you custom. There's tax to pay on top of that, and also shipping. So just don't bother. Go and find a blacksmith. Go and find. You might find the odd company that will sell it to you. Go and find a blacksmith. Go and find a machine shop and find out whether or not they keep any of this stuff on the shelf. 9 times out of 10, maybe not H13, but 9 times out of 10. Those sorts of guys will have an O1 or a W1 tool steel. They probably have 1040 or a 4140 kind of steel kicking around somewhere. And if they haven't, I'm sure they can get hold of it. So the next time they do an order, they might be able to sneak your stuff on for you. Again, go in with a smile. If you go to a blacksmith's, be polite. Say, I'm looking for X, Y, and Z. See if they'll help you. They, you know, if they do help you, offer some time, offer them some money. You know, they are going out of their way, they're giving you extra time to help you out. So yeah, maybe have a think about that when you're in there, having a look for the stuff that you want. The last type of steel that you might be able to get your hands on, which is quite easy to get your hands on, is tool steel. That is used to make tools for lathes. This will be like sometimes it's referred to as ground flat stock or ground flat bar. It's very precise, and normally it's made to make the tooling to go into lathes. I've seen it as big as 2 inch by 1 inch, or 50 mil by 25 mil thick bar, about 300 millimeters long or 12 inches long. You're talking about 40-45 pounds. I don't know, $60 to $70 for something like that. That stuff is great, especially if you're finding it very difficult to get small pieces of stock. I'm sure you can find some on the internet. What I will do is I'll try and find some links for this video, and I'll put them in the description so you guys have got them. Yeah, I think that's everything. H13 I use quite a bit of, the forklift truck tine and those prop shafts. So in summary, remember, scrapyards, anywhere where they repair any sort of large industrial vehicle plant, forklift trucks, buses, trains, and then machine shops, go and ask nicely, offer to make something in return, and offer money, obviously, and a little bit of time, especially if you're going to ask a blacksmith to help you. That rounding hammer is for Peter, this rounding hammer is for Tim. Now some of you may know who Tim is. This is a slightly special one. I've made this a little bit more like a Stanley ball peen, and to be honest with you, Tim, I'm very jealous. I'm not sure I can send this one to you, but I am going to send it along with the other Damascus hammer, the first Damascus hammer I made. I'm going to get that out to you, and I am going to be making the Damascus hammer video very soon. There will have been some close-ups of those, I'm sure. So that thing's still roasting hot, and that's coming to you very soon, Tim. I'm going to heat treat it and everything. Whether or not it's going to come with a hammer handle, I'm not sure, but I will send you an email and some pictures anyway, so we can have a chat about that. I think that's everything. So I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope it was educational. If you have any questions about steel, I can get hold of H13 if you want it. I'm quite happy to squeeze a couple of pieces of fork truck tine down into usable hammer blocks. And that's everything. So thank you for joining me. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you learned something about magic metals. Let me know in the comments down below what your favourite steel is to use for hammers and tools, so on and so forth. Do you recycle or whatnot? And that is everything. So thank you for joining me. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did enjoy this video, remember to leave a like and subscribe if you haven't already. And if you are a subscriber, remember to click that button, that little bell next to the subscribe button for notifications, because that will tell you every time I make a video. I try to make videos as often as possible. Like I said, chuck something down in the comments below. So that's everything. I will chuck a video up here of me making a thing. There's a video there of me making something else. This is my Patreon. Go and check that out. It's a great way to support the channel. And this is the subscribe button. Make sure you do subscribe and watch the videos as soon as they come out. It really does help support the channel.